Okay, so I think this is about the fourth video in a short series of basic Python tutorials, and I'm going to be looking at selection in this particular video. Some people call it if statements. That's absolutely fine. It's basically, well, it is the same thing. Selection is just allowing the computer to make a decision based on some input. So previously we've done basic variables, we've done some different data types, we have done some typecasting. I think I have covered input, so this is now selection, and a little bit of all of that is probably going to make its way in here as well. So we'll get right into it. The first thing we're going to want in order to demonstrate some selection is going to be some sort of input. Now this is an age-old one. I got shown it a couple of years ago when I was training to be a teacher, and I still use it today because it sort of proves the point really nicely. So we're going to start with age. And age is equal to, we'll say, the integer version of this particular input, which is going to be please enter your age, colon space, and don't forget your brackets. Okay. After that, we are going to start our selection. Now, obviously, these can get far more complicated than what you're going to see here today. This is just some basic stuff. But we are going to start with an if, okay? And we are going to say if age is less than 10, colon, okay? Now, a much smarter man than me described this colon as a truth gate. And the reason for that is this is basically a question. This is saying, you can almost read this as, is age greater than 10, true or false? Okay. Now, if this is true, we will drop down and we'll do whatever comes next, and you'll see that in a second. But if it's false, we're going to go back, we're going to drop down until we hit the next line. You will understand what I mean in a second, and ask that question, whatever that question may be. Okay. So you can think of this as a truth gate. Okay. Now when we press enter, you'll notice it is indented. This is important. You've got to watch your white space in Python. If it's not indented properly, i.e. you have it back here, it's just not going to work. The best way to make sure that you're indented correctly is to just go to that colon, press enter, and it will, or it should, always put you in the right place. So I'm going to say, if age is greater than 10, print a little sentence. Or less than 10 even. You are so little. Okay, nothing fancy, we're just going to print that out to prove that it's working. Press enter. Now you'll notice that it goes directly beneath. That's because we are still within that particular portion of our selection statement. We need to break out of that so we can ask the next part of our selection statement. So we're going to go back here and we're going to say elif. Now you can, or you could, maybe logically you would think, say if, but it doesn't really work. Okay? In fact, it doesn't work properly. You need to say elif, and elif is short for else if. So if age is less than 10, do this. Else if it's going to be this, or it might be this. So elif age is greater than 20, and you'll get why I'm doing that, leaving that big space in the middle in a second. Colon, or truth gate, print, wow, you are so old. Okay, hit enter, you'll notice we're still inside of that particular portion of the selection statement. We need to press backspace, and then we're going to say else colon. Now, this always trips my kids at school up because they will either say if, or elif, or they will try else age equals, I don't know, 15, do something, and this doesn't work. This does not work, okay? If you want to have something like that, you can then have another elif statement. So, and you can do as many elif statements as you want. You can just keep going endlessly. It's probably not the best way of doing it, but you can in theory. So you could say elif age equals 15, bad, I suppose. Okay, and you can do that endlessly. Now you'll notice I've got equals equals here. As far as Python is concerned, equals equals is equals in the traditional sense. Okay, so what this means is age is the same as 15. Okay, this is different. This is age contains this stuff here. Okay, what we're actually checking here is this the same as this? Does age have the same value as this 15? Okay, we are not checking, or we are not using the contents of this. We're just seeing if the value is the same in this instance. Now, operators are complicated, and I will do a video on those in the future, but this is a basic one, so I thought I'd mention it now. Okay, so we've got if, we've got elif, we've got elif, and we can keep doing those elifs until the cows come home. But eventually, you are going to need else. And else does not need a parameter. It doesn't need anything to follow it. It is just else colon. Enter, print, you are something else. Okay? So what's happening here is we're saying, well, if you're less than 10, then you're little. If you're greater than 20, then you must be really old. We've got this one in here just to prove a point, but obviously if you're 15, you're not bad, I suppose. But if you're not this, and you're not this, and you're not this, then you have to be whatever this is. So in a more practical sense, this would maybe be your error code. So if it's not this, it's not this, it's not this, then they probably entered something incorrectly, maybe. But basically whatever it is, it's whatever else is left, okay? And that is selection in a nutshell. I can run this like 10 times if you want to show you how it all works, but I'll probably just do like a top and bottom thing so you can sort of see. But if we run this, it allows me to save. It's going to ask you for my age. I'm going to say that I am 7, just for kicks and giggles, and it's going to say, "Ah, you're so little." Okay. Now if I run it a second time, and I say that I am 107. It's going to say, "Wow, you're so old." One more time. If I say I am 15, it's going to say, not bad, I suppose. And if I say that I am BAN, banana, then it should come out with something else. Oh no, we get an error. I mean, actually, in this particular instance here, because it's trying to typecast it, it's just not going to work. In that sense. So this bit here, really and truly, is sort of null and void. If I took this bit out, just scrap that off for a minute, then our else statement is going to be that middle ground. So if you're not in sort of the lower bracket or the upper bracket, then you're going to be in the middle ground somewhere. So if I run that one final time, and I say my age is 15, this time we should get you're something else. And you sort of see how that works. And that's selection statements in a nutshell. Okay, key points to take away: making sure you have your colons and your white space is all in the right place. Common mistake is to miss the colon out altogether, or maybe you have your white space set up wrong. Lots of my kids end up doing this sort of stuff all the time. That's just not going to work. So just make sure you've got that all neatly indented like that, and it should be fine. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. That was selection. Cheerio.